I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she's not a good communicator. Well, I got an email here from a guy. He sent me a really long email, and I kind of glanced over a few of the paragraphs and just locked in on one paragraph that gets to the root of his issue. And on top of that, at the end of his email, I realized that this particular reader, or I guess I should say listener, because I guess he says he watches or listens to all my videos, he's blind. So this is a different request, obviously, so this should be interesting. And he says, but even blind guys have the same problems that the rest of us guys do with interacting with their women. And so he's dating a woman who he feels is not a really good communicator, and it's obviously frustrating to him. And he says, Corey, my problem is that I feel that she isn't a great communicator. I believe that communication is very high in the essentials of having a strong relationship, and that is what I am looking for. I'm looking for a wife who I can spend the rest of my life with, and I do not want to get a divorce if at all possible, so I want to make sure she is right before I get married. And you're very smart to want to get a woman that you're going to spend the rest of your life with who is a good communicator. And what I've learned about people over the years, over the last several decades, is that people don't change. They can become a better version of themselves, but they basically don't change. And one of the women I wrote about in my book, I'm not going to mention her name here. She's still a dear friend. I love her to death. But she's happily married now, and she's an awesome chick, but she's just not a great communicator. And I should say in the way that I like a woman to communicate, because she would tend to, when she didn't know what to do or she'd get upset about things, she would create problems. She would fuck things up on purpose. And it would require me to fix them and put them all back together, which is, if knowing her family the way I did, was exactly the way her father interacted in his relationship with her mother, and vice versa. And that's how the father was always the peacemaker in the family. So when she'd get pissed off at her mother and they wouldn't talk for a month or so, it was always the father that would come over and say, will you talk to your mother? Will you talk to your daughter? Blah, blah, blah. And get everybody together, because otherwise, the two of these two would just not talk to each other. And so it's very frustrating. And when last time I talked to her, we were talking about this, and she was talking about how I know I'm such a horrible communicator. She knows it. She's aware of it. She's an awesome chick. She's a lot of fun. She's a great lover. I mean, I could spend the whole day talking about awesome things that I love about her and that I think are amazing about her. But one thing, at least for me personally, that was a deal killer is she was a shitty communicator. And she would cause problems that I just got tired of fixing all the time. Whereas if she'd have been a good communicator and she'd have been sweet about things, she would simply ask for the things that she wanted instead of assuming the worst and just creating drama that I would have to fix. Now, her husband's a very strong guy. He's in the military, and he's known her for most of it. They both known each other since they were kids, and so he's strong enough to put up with her crap because, I mean, he's known her since they were 12. And he's cool with that. But me personally, it didn't work for me. I didn't want to put up with that. And so that's the choice. You got to decide that either A, you have to make up for your girlfriend's lack of communication skills and go the extra mile if you love her that much. Or you can decide, because the bottom line is she may get a little bit better over time, but at the end of the day, if she just sucks as a communicator, just like my ex-girlfriend, she's not going to get any better, and she probably won't do anything to help herself. And so you either have to make up for it on your side with great communication habits and skills, or you'll have to decide that you leave the relationship and choose to want to be in a relationship with somebody who's a great communicator. And that's something I would imagine a guy, obviously with the fact that you're blind, that would be something that I would think would be really huge and really important to you, is that you want somebody that's a great communicator that you can have great conversations with. And so at the end of the day, you either have to come to a place where you love and accept your girl as she is, because if you try to change her, she's going to resent it, and eventually she'll go back to being the real her anyways, and then you'll both resent it. and it'll just poison the relationship. So you either accept her and love her as she is with all of her flaws and faults, or you move on to find somebody, like I did, you move on to find somebody who's a great communicator and is effortless to be with. Because, I mean, life's too short. Why would you want to spend your life with somebody who's a constant source of being a thorn in your side because they're a crappy communicator? And it's going to create a lot of unnecessary problems. And, hey, you got enough things to deal with. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I looked at it. Life should be effortless. That's what I teach. Enlightened self-help. That's why I have the image of the beach on the top of my website, is because life should be effortless. It should be easy, just like a beach. That's something to think about. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going to my website and clicking the PayPal donate button, which is located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen on any page of my website. Donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this video with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are below the video if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs maximum detailing your questions, your situation, or your challenges, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by going to my website, understandingrelationships.com, click the Products tab, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.